For months, Donald Trump has been saying that in order to battle the California wildfires, they needed to just turn the water on upstate and let it run south. And that's not how that works, of course. But Donald Trump is an idiot. He doesn't know this. He was saying, just turn the spigot on, let them have water. And he signed an executive order basically saying just that. So on Friday, the Army Corps of Engineers was set to open two spillways on two dams in Northern California. Um, and gave people downstream less than an hour's notice or around an hour's notice to prepare for the increase of water. Now, after some discussion, they were convinced the Army Corps of Engineers to lower it down to a third of their initial planned amount and increase it slowly over flooding concerns. And a lot of farmers are worried about their fields being flooded in that area. And connecting the areas, there's 200 miles between where they're opening the dams and where the wildfires are. The water's not going to go that far south. Now, this water could have been used in the spring, early summer as irrigation water for farmers, but right now the spillways are open, sending water downstream into fields, worrying, where they could potentially be flooding out, because they have been controlled for so long as how much water is coming through that area. You can't just release a large amount of water into a new area. Flooding is real, it causes things. This just proves how inept the Trump administration really is. They do things without thinking about unintended consequences. He says, oh, it's simple, just turn the water on. Now, I don't think this is exactly what he meant by turning on the water. He said just turn the spigot on. I think he really thought that there was a giant water spigot somewhere that he could just turn on and have water, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. He says nonsensical stuff all the time. But doing things like this, like opening these dams to full capacity from where they were at a very regulated rate with no notice to people downstream to have prepared a sandbag, things like that. Here in Iowa, we have had flooding several years when dams have broken, when levees have given way. Water goes where it wants when there's nothing protecting it. And if you increase the amount of water into an area, very rapidly, you cause a lot of damage. They weren't accounting for any of that damage. Luckily, they were able to scale it back some, but apparently there's still a lot of farmers very worried about their fields being flooded, and they're begging the Trump administration for help now. And if their fields do get flooded, they're going to have to cash in their crop insurance, and it's just going to cost the government even more money, all for something that could have been avoided, if we would have had somebody in office who wasn't a moron.